Okay, so this is what we're going to do today, and that is to take a sketch that I've drawn for a page layout and start to build a rough draft in Photoshop. So this is what it's going to look like at the end. In fact, I can show you both of these things at one time. 2 up vertical. There we go. And it looks pretty close in terms of basic layout. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go back to the single arrangement, consolidate all tabs, and we'll look at this one. And we're also going to open up a new document. So we'll go to File, Menu, New. And if you've seen this demo in class, then you know that what we're doing here is going to go to the preset of web and then change this to 1024 and then customize this to a height of 1800. At this time I don't really know how much height I need on my document, but I'm pretty comfortable with a 1024. So I'm going to click OK, and there's our starting point. Now I might just leave both of these open at the same time. Let's see, unless I've got the paper handy, which I do, so I don't need to have this one open. So for you, commit this to memory right now, and I'm going to go to my new document, and you can see that I've got my machine set up here for my own personal preferences. Of course, scrubby zoom, the evil scrubby zoom, is off, and I'm going to zoom in roughly to about here, maybe a little bit out. There we go, and set up a few things. Now the first thing we really want to do is set up some guidelines, which is pretty much what they talk about in chapter 4. So I'll hit Command R, Control R on the PC, and I believe this document is still set up in inches, so we're going to set this to pixels. And also in the chapter it mentioned setting up about a 1/2 inch margin. So what I'm going to do is kind of zoom into this area and draw out where this needs to go, which is about 36 pixels. There we go, that's nice. And I'll draw one from the top at 36 also. Is that right? That's right about there. Awesome. And then I will go to the far right here and drag this over to the right, there we go, the right side of the document. And in this case, we wanted to go 36 from the right. Now we know that the whole width here is 1024 pixels, so I'm going to drop this at 988. That is 36 from 1024. Oops. Come on. Massage it into place. If I can't get it right, I'll just have to kind of wing it. I'll take that. That's it. Okay. And that looks pretty good. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the contrast on this just for a moment. Well, actually for the rest of this thing. Change the color in my grids and guidelines to maybe the light blue. And that's a little bit better. We're going to set up a few more guidelines in the center here. I'm going to zoom in again. Maybe even a little bit tighter than that. And I'm going to set up some margins. Actually, they're just gutters here, and set one here up at 500. And one also at 524. And even as I mentioned in class, we might not use these gutters exactly, but we're going to use it as a guideline. Right? Come on, 524, let's come in. Right there. Awesome. Zoom out, and then we're ready to go with our 2 columns. Okay, so now what we're going to do is to start roughing out a quick basic version of our sketch, and this is actually pretty simple. I'm just going to go over here to the rectangle tool, and I'm actually going to start it with a color like a medium gray. I typically like to work in this area here with grayscale images and not just strictly black boxes. So I'm going to draw from this point to this point. And again, I'm kind of at this point kind of roughing, guessing what size this should be. I might have a good idea about how big my boxes should be. And Sometimes I guess. They can always be restructured later. That's the beauty of working with Photoshop or even working in design in general, is you can change things. It's not written in stone. Now I'm going to take my move tool and duplicate this. So I'll hold down the Option key and put this up there. And now I've pretty much decided that this one over here, by the way, I'm going to turn on auto select. That makes my life easier when it comes to moving these things. I'll drag this down a bit. And that is a pretty good start. Not bad. Maybe I'll put it back just a little bit. There we go. And I'm also going to lay out some type here as well. So let's go get the type tool. And for our money, we'll just go with Myriad Pro, simply because it typically tends to be the default font, and that's a good starting point. So what I'm going to do is draw some boxes, and I'll have those snap up against the edge. Excuse me. And then I'm going to just fill this with black type. Go to our thing here that says Paste Lorem Ipsum, and that's way too big right now. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to hit Command A to select all this type and bring down the size. And well, it says 15 here. Let me try another one. How about 14? Let's look at how big. Oops. I'm going to commit to this for a moment. I'm going to zoom in to what would essentially be the above the fold kind of situation. So this is about 100%, which is great. And this type is a little dense at this point. We'll fix that another time. For now, we're just going to continue and draw another box. So I'll start roughly here. And again, go to that edge. And notice that I'm setting up a bit of a gap between the picture box down here and the picture box down here and the text box. So again, we'll do the type, Paste Lorem Ipsum. Good, that looks like it's a continuation. That's nice. I'll hit Enter on my 10 keypad and move this up a bit more. And we'll draw another box, like about there. And it doesn't have to be quite so close. I don't know if it needs to go the full gutter, but that works too. And I'll hit, oops, we'll hit this one here, Paste Lorem Ipsum, and we'll go with that. How's it look so far? Good starting point. Let's do another type thing. We'll do this over here towards the upper left. It's a little close. Command minus a couple times. And this one I'm not going to draw a box, but I'm going to draw a headline. Now for the headline, I'll set this for, we'll call it 48 point for now. And we'll say how, oops, that's a bit big. I see, because apparently the last time I used the type, we had a wide setup here. So in fact, the tracking is set to 250. So for this one, I'm going to set this down to 0 and restart retyping. How, why am I doing caps? Are my caps lock on? No, but all caps is. So we'll try this one more time. Bring it back over there. Turn this stuff off and start typing. There we go. How to read and play tab. I think we did tablature in Classroom, but this works too. And I'll move it over a little bit with my move tool. And that looks pretty spiffy for now. Okay, let's do a little navigation thing. So we'll nav, and the next line will be link 1. So this is just a temporary thing that we'll fix another time. Link 2, link 3, link 4. Cool. How's that look? Not bad. And I think I will put an underline. So I'll highlight this part of my layer. Underline here. And that looks nice. I think this is maybe just a little bit big and it's competing with the title. Normally we would probably massage this into place another time, but I'm going to bring this down in size just a bit. Okay, 30 is a little small. How about 36? Not bad. We'll probably wind up taking this up bigger in size next time. Okay, what else can we put on here? How about, let's go down here and do some small video boxes. So I will do one of these things, like about yay big. And I'm going to get my move tool and do what we did before and duplicate these guys. And of course in class I showed you guys how to do kind of a sloppy job of this for a reason. Okay, now that I've got these three boxes selected, actually I don't have the boxes selected. I need to go over here and select them. So I'm going to click on this one, which is that box here. And I'm going to shift click down to this section here. So here's shift and click on this, and this will actually click all three at the same time. And of course, now that I use the move tool right here, I can use the alignment tools, which are right here, and the distribution tools, which are here, and I'm going to align the bottom edge. So now that they're all evenly laid out on one line. But you'll notice that this gap here is bigger than this gap, so this is going to be a distribution tool. And this is called Distribute Horizontal Centers. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, click, and there we go. Now it's nicely aligned. And I'm going to move all three of these north here and do a kind of a visual to see if it fills in nicely. And that does look pretty good. I could move it up a little bit more. And of course I can always use my arrow keys if it's not too difficult. And that's fine right there. Good. Let's do a few more headlines here. So here's a headline. We'll call this Resources. And lay out some small paragraphs of type, which are really just kind of links to other resources. That's the plan anyway. So I'll go in here and make this a little bit smaller, maybe about 24. And again, we'll fill with a few lines of Greeking. And notice that it's set to gray and it's got underlines. So let me continue. I'll hit enter and then just change a few of these things here. So we'll turn off the underline and we'll set the color. I'm surprised the color is gray. Why is the color gray? I'm not really sure actually. I mean, it's showing black here and the blend modes and the opacities are set correctly. So I'm a little surprised this is coming out this way. Let's try this. This is the right layer, right? Interesting. Well, we're just going to roll with this. And I'm going to get the move tool and just duplicate this layer. So I'll hold down the option key, alt key for the Windows people, and do this again. And since they're already lined up nicely, I will also select all three, and we will redistribute the horizontal centers, and then use my arrow keys just to move it all over just a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay, we're going to do another type layer. For a heading, write your own tab. Capital O for own, tab, enter. And I'll put this back up to the same size before. Okay, I think maybe it's just the size is making that look a little bit grayer than it would normally. Okay, and then I'm going to borrow from these guys here, since they're, we're going to put some other pictures. So since these guys are representing pictures, I'm going to shift click on all three of these things, which actually shows up all selected there, and duplicate. So I'll bring these down here, and maybe bring them a little bit closer together. So let's click off here, and I'll click on this one and move it 3. Actually, let me undo that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And I'll go over here, arrow keys, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just to kind of break up so it's not exactly parallel to the original ones. In fact, if we want to take this a little bit further, I suppose we could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, that does not look right. That looks better. Better. Okay. There's a keyboard shortcut to turn off the extras. Now I could just, it's right there, Command H. Okay, so Control H for the Windows. So if I hit Command H, that turns off my guidelines, and that's pretty much it. If I would like to actually cut this off at the bottom, I can at any time. Now, when you do this project, you probably want to save this to the last, but I'm going to show you how to do this now. I'm going to drop this down here at the bottom of the boxes, and notice that this is roughly 1570 pixels. So let's add 36 to that. So that should put us at 1606. So I'm going to, that's the magic number, 1606. Okay, so we'll go up here to the image menu and go to canvas size, and we're just going to trim off this bottom edge minus the 36. So canvas size, so the magic number was 1606, right? So 1606. And if you recall, what we did in class is if I were to click OK now, it would take the difference. So let's see, I'm just going to round it off here and just say 200, because that's the difference between the edge, the bottom edge of this document. This is 1800, and this is 1606. So really, it's okay, 194. There we go. So right now, if we click OK, it's going to cut off half of 194 from the bottom and half from the top, because we're anchoring the center of the document. What we want to do is click over here at the top. That anchors the top of the document. That means that if we cut anything off, which is 194 pixels, it's going to take it from the bottom. So that's what the anchor does. And we click OK, and it tells us, hey, yes, you're going to cut this document. You know that, right? Proceed, and now it looks great. Turn off the, there we go. And that's pretty close to our original here. Very close. I believe this one we could probably put, oh wait, the write your own tab thing. Let's see, that one is right here. So I'll go over here to underline that so that at least is consistent. Looks pretty good. I hope you do so well too.